2 videos in one day, guys. Hey. So, like I said, the next topic is social media and kids. A very, very sensitive topic. I am talking about this topic because I came across a little child on TikTok not long ago that tried to follow me. And I think I was just absolutely raging. Don't get me wrong, obviously, as a parent, if you want your child to be on social media, it's completely your decision. It doesn't make you a bad parent that they're on there. It's just what you would accept. But I'm not one of those parents, unfortunately. I am very overprotective when it comes to things like social media and devices. At the moment, I've literally taken all my kids' tablets because they're not doing things that they're supposed to do and they're not listening. So I just took it. And plus, I think they're a bit addicted as well. Especially my 3-year-old. Literally, if the Wi-Fi goes down for like 5 minutes, he literally has a meltdown. And it just pisses me off because it's like, you are only 3 years old. It's Wi-Fi. You're not going to die. It's like when we get in the car, he expects me to put my hotspot on, so he's constantly got internet on his iPad. And it's just like, there's other things you can play that don't require the internet, but he's just prefers the internet. And it just pisses me off because when I was younger, we didn't care about internet. We actually went outside and go play in the playground. Actually got bruises and stuff on our bodies instead of just being stuck in front of a screen. But I think a lot of kids nowadays are just so attached to this technology. I mean, technology is good in some ways, but it can be damaging, especially to a young mind. And children that are of a certain age, they're like sponges. Their brain are like sponges. They see things and they think, oh, well, this person did it. It looks cool. I want to try it. And it shouldn't be that way. I think with my children, I show them so much. I've had my daughter ask me for a phone. And she said to me she wants Snapchat and TikTok. I've said to her, over my dead body, you're not having it. You're too young. I didn't have my first phone till I was like 14. And it wasn't even like one of those Android phones. It's just like one of those, we used to call it the walkie-talkie phones. Where it's like, literally, it's a phone, but it's like a walkie-talkie as well, which didn't make any sense back then because why would you need a walkie-talkie if you can just use the phone to call someone? But obviously, we all thought it was cool. We didn't have things like a lot of social medias like we do now. I think it got to a certain point where obviously Facebook came out. And then obviously MySpace. MySpace was more like the Facebook back then, to be honest. But it wasn't as put out there as it is now. I think a lot of children nowadays are on TikTok and it pisses me off, especially when a child tries to follow me. Like, my videos are not very child friendly. That's like the nicest way I can put it. So a child looking at my videos probably thinking, oh, that looks nice, or maybe I want to try it. And it just petrifies me to think that I could be influencing a young mind to do something as crazy as I do sometimes. And it's just, it's sad. And now I've had to literally put my TikTok on private because I don't want any children to see my videos or follow me. And it's just, I don't know what parents are doing. And it's hard to talk to a parent about it if you see their child on there. So, like, obviously as a parent, I can't see myself approaching a parent and saying, hey, you know, your child is on TikTok and she's too young. Why is she on there? Because a lot of parents will get offended that you say that. And I don't like to offend parents because I don't want a parent to feel like I'm attacking their parenting skills. I mean, as a parent, there is no rule book or manual on how to be a parent. You just literally learn as you go. And it's not fair that I make another parent feel like they're not doing a good job, which I'm pretty sure they're doing the best that they can. But nowadays the children are so fast and frisky and just all around disrespectful in a way. So, but it is a growing problem. And it is so bad because nowadays, obviously, a lot of these social medias, you have to be 18 and over. But obviously, we all know that if you put in a fake age, it's going to show. I think a lot of social medias, what they need to start doing is having facial recognition. So, like, obviously, once you put in all the details and you put your date of birth in, you should be able to take a picture of yourself to confirm that you are actually the age that you say you are. I think that will stop a lot of young children being on social media. But then at the same time, that could backfire because a lot of these parents, because they're supporting their children to be on there, they'll probably take the picture and act like it's them kind of thing, just so their child would have social media. And parents that do that, I just think it's so unfair. You're not a bad parent for doing it, but the way I look at it is children are so innocent already. I feel like as parents, we need to shield them and make them be innocent for as long as we can. It is not easy being a child, especially in the generation that we are in now, because technology has advanced so much, and the more technology grows, the harder it is to be a child. Like back then, a 13-year-old kid, you would know that child is 13 years old because the way they dress or the way they look, you think, okay, yeah, that is a young girl. But nowadays, 13-year-old girls look like they're 25, all the makeup and things like that. And it's just like, where are you going, child? Where is your mom? And who is letting you look like that? Like, even with my daughter, she wants makeup, she wants this, she wants that. The only thing I allow her is nail polish. And that is only when she doesn't have school. Like if they've got like a holiday or something, then yeah, I'll allow it. Makeup is a definite no-no, not happening. So there's a lot of things I don't condone. I used to even put like extensions in her hair with different colors, but I had a lot of people have a go at me, you know, not to give her too much of a adult hairstyle because then she'll think she's grown. So obviously I don't do that anymore, but she used to have like different colors in her hair, like purple and stuff like that, but I have stopped doing it now because at the same time, as much as I felt a bit offended, I did understand where they were coming from. She is small, and if I'm giving her grown people hairstyles, she'll think, oh yeah, I'm grown and I can do what I want to do. And obviously I don't want her to think that way. But it's about keeping the children as innocent as we can for as long as possible, because little kids nowadays, they just know so much. And especially there's a lot of things now that are sexualized. I'm reading a lot of articles about now they're trying to educate our children as young as they can about things like transgender and being feeling different from other people and all of that. And I think I was reading an article the other day where they're now trying to put a gender to God. Everyone calls God something different. Like obviously every religion has what they call God, and now they're trying to put a gender to the word God. And obviously the way we look at it, God is not actually a human being where you can say male or female. It's more spiritual. So it's just so many things out here. It's just ridiculous. You can't even say the word God anymore. They're trying to put it in a way where you're saying him or her. And obviously it's all about the what do you call it, LGBT or something like that. I don't know what you call it. I can't remember. But the funny thing is, I actually don't have anything wrong with people that are bisexual or lesbian or any of that, because I'm bisexual. I am attracted to both male and female. Obviously, because of the way I was raised religion-wise, I will never marry a female, or I'll probably never get into a relationship with a female as well. But would I have fun with one? Yes, I would. But it's not a thing where I will think, oh, I've never been in love with a female. Never. I can't see myself falling in love with a female. I think because growing up, Christianity was really more like drilled into my head about, you know, male and female instead of female and female. So as much as I do like female and I am attracted to them, I can't see myself being in a relationship with them at all. I would prefer to be with a man, marry a man and have kids with a man than a female. I've never met a female where I thought, oh, I'm so in love with them. I can't feel love for a female, but I can for a man, which sounds a bit wrong. Like I said, I don't have a problem with transgenders. I don't have a problem with gay people. I don't have a problem with lesbian people. I believe that they need their rights too. But I think in certain situations, we shouldn't push the boundaries, if that makes sense. Like, obviously, learning about being transgender at a young age is not something that we should be promoting. If a child decides later on in life, okay, they want to be a female and they were born a male, let them live their life as a child first, and then they can worry about things like that later. Like I said, we should preserve the innocence for as long as we can. Let them have that time where they're like a child. And then as they grow up, they can think about things like, do I want to be a male or female? But if you're educating kids at a young age, like I said, kids are like sponges. If you're doing that at a young age, one child will be like, oh, well, I feel like a female, and then the other one will follow just because they think it's cool. They won't look at it as in it's actually a serious life choice, and it's not something that you just do it as a fashion sense. It's something that it's who you are, it's how you feel, and it will just send a wrong message, especially to little kids. It's not something that should be educated in school. It's supposed to be something that as you grow older, if it's something that you decide you want to do, then you explore that option. I just think it's so wrong to teach. Because how am I supposed to explain to my daughter that I gave birth to her, I gave her a female name, but if she wants, she can be a boy. She is small. I don't even know how to tell her yet what sex means. I haven't even spoken about how that even happens. And then I now have to explain to her how she can change from being a female to a male. It's too complicated for their brains, which is why I feel it's not something that they should know at such a young age. And social media, they shouldn't be on there. There's just so much on there. And you don't know who they're talking to. Yes, you can say you're going to monitor it as much as you can. But we all know nowadays you can delete things. And not everyone knows how to retrieve things that are deleted like I do. So if you don't know how to do that, you don't know who your child is talking to. They can be talking to anyone. And for me, obviously, I study forensic science and policing in uni. And a lot of the case files that we deal with is with crime. And there's so much crime that goes on out there, especially with social media, where people are pretending to be someone. And then you go and meet them. And maybe you lose your life because you don't know who this person is. And that person is probably just out to kill someone, just looking for someone to kill. And obviously, you fell into their trap. So you have to be so careful. And with kids, because they're so small and their minds are not fully developed, someone can say to them, I love you, and they'll think, oh, this person loves me so much. They give me so much attention. And, you know, when you're young, you're more likely to fall for the I love you than anything else. I mean, I know when I was younger, it took me a while to even like boys, but when I did, I fell head over heels for one guy. Literally, I was so in love with him from the age of 12. And then I lost my virginity to him when I was 17. And I felt like he was like the best guy on this earth. I was like so in love. And it started when I was 12. What would a 12-year-old know about love? But I was so in love. I used to say to him, I'm going to have your babies. We're going to get married. And, you know, because you're young, you don't know what you're saying. Obviously, now that I'm older and as I got older, it kind of like faded away kind of thing. And I started to see the light. And I started to realize, maybe he's not the person I do want to get married to or be with. I mean, I still talk to him, but I don't really see him in that way anymore, where I was crazy about him. But obviously, because I was younger, my mind wasn't fully developed. I thought it was love. Obviously, it is love in a way, but it's not the love that, for say, I would need now. As in back then, I didn't really know what love really was. So it's just, a lot of kids can confuse that. And then you have teenage pregnancies that will happen because you'll go and do something stupid thinking, this guy loves me so much because he says it. But not knowing that, no, he just want to have fun. And we all know men can say a lot of things just to have fun. And then our children are out here falling for it. And then God knows what happens. So there's so much out there, so much nudity, so much sexual stuff, so much confusion for the kids that I think as parents, we should preserve our children's innocence for as long as we can. We can't protect these children forever. Eventually, they're going to have to find out certain things about the world. But I think we should try to shield them as much as we can for as long as we can, and which is what I try to do with my kids. I don't think it's appropriate for my 8-year-old daughter to be on TikTok. For what? Making videos for who? Because you don't know who's watching those videos. A lot of people are seeing the videos, and some of these girls got makeup on and looking all grown. For who? If I was to catch my daughter doing that, it's a wrap, because I'm not going to condone that kind of behavior. You are an 8-year-old girl and you are going to behave like an 8-year-old girl. I don't want you out there putting makeup on, patting your hair, and putting your lips a certain way, and because other men are looking at it, and we got pedophiles out here, they'll look at it and be like, oh, she looks beautiful and stuff like that. So you have to be so careful. The only way that my kids are on social media is if I post them myself, because I'm their mom. So like if I put up a picture of my children we've gone out, or like when I had baby I put up pictures and stuff. That's it. But to have them have their own profile, no. And there's some people where they actually create a separate profile for their child on social media where it's just pictures of them. It's wrong. If you want to post your child, put them on your own personal profile. You don't need to create a whole profile for just your child. Your child doesn't even know about it, but you're just posting so many pictures which other people have access to. We may not be able to download the picture, but now there's a lot of screenshot, so people can have these pictures on their phone and you don't even know. And there's a lot of pedophiles out there that like girls and boys now. A lot more. The boys are becoming more common. So no one is safe. No gender is safe. So all you parents out there that have your kids on social media, think about the consequences, because you don't know who they're talking to. You don't know who's following them. You don't know who's using their pictures for wrong things. And you don't want someone looking at your child in a sexual way, especially when they're young. It's very heartbreaking. And where I live, there's a city neighbor to us in Birmingham. From what I can see, and I'm reading a lot of articles and news that's coming out, a lot of children are going missing, and the age range of the children going missing are quite young. I think the other time I saw a 13-year-old girl gone missing. I mean, the last time they said they saw her, she was with a guy that she called her boyfriend, and they haven't seen her since. And when things like that happen, it's so scary. I don't know how that mom will feel, but I'm pretty sure she will not be happy, because at the age of 13, I'm pretty sure she's had her struggles with her, especially when it comes to friends and boys and all of that. That's already a struggle, and then her child goes missing. It's a lot that will play on a parent's mind. I don't know what I would do if my child went missing. I don't think I can function or even cope at all, because to go through that 9 months of pain and then your child goes missing, it is the greatest pain you can feel, and you have no idea where they are. And this is where the secretive comes in. As they grow older, they want to be secretive. They don't want you to know things because they're scared of how you're going to react. And which is why I try to keep an open dialogue with my kids. I do have conversations with them. I've always said to them, if anything goes wrong, as much as I will get angry, I will prefer you tell me as your mom, because I will help you. Yes, I'll get angry, but I'll worry about getting angry at you later. But in that moment, as your mom, I will be there to help you. You have to trust that I do love you enough to at least help you through the situation. Then later on I can yell at you if I need to. But I want my kids to have that relationship with me where they can tell me anything and not be scared that if I tell mommy, she's going to get so angry. Which is why sometimes I yell at them, but then at times I do reward them, because I don't want them to feel like mommy's just so strict. Because my upbringing, they were so strict with me that even when I had a boyfriend, I couldn't tell my family. I was scared. I remember the first time I got pregnant, I was 19. And I had to tell my mom I was pregnant. And when I say my body was trembling just walking to her, I walked towards her so many times and then turned back around. I think about the 4th or 5th time, then I actually said to her, Mom, can I tell you something? And she goes, what do you want to tell me? I'm on the phone. I was like, it's very important. She dropped the phone. I said to her, Mom, I'm pregnant. And her response was just like, I don't know why you're telling me. You know where the abortion clinic is. And it just hit me like a knife to my heart, because I was so scared to tell her, and then to hear her response didn't help either. So a lot of us children, we're put so much fear is put into us, especially as African children. They put so much fear into us that you cannot have certain conversations with your parents. Like my mom always told me, I can't talk to her about boys until I'm 25. When in this day and age, we women, or girls I'll say, we start liking boys from the age of 12, 13, sometimes younger. We need someone to talk to about it, because we have a lot of questions. And if you're just saying, well, I shouldn't talk to you until I'm 25, so what happens if I like a boy and I start feeling things? Who do I talk to about it? Who do I go to? I'm not given the information, and which is why a lot of girls end up pregnant, because they don't have no one there to actually have these conversations with them and to ease their mind and, answer certain questions that they have. And then they go out there and they try it, and then they end up pregnant. So a lot of us, especially for African upbringing, we're put in a way where we've got to fear our parents. Yes, it's good to fear your parents, but at the same time, you should be able to trust that you can tell your parent anything. I can't tell my parents anything, I'll tell you that for sure. I couldn't talk to any of my parents or other person I lived with about anything, because they would overreact and things would just get worse for me. Sometimes I'll get beaten But with my kids, I do sit them down and I do have conversations with them. And I've always said to them, no matter what happens, no matter how angry mommy will get at you, please, if anything goes wrong, come and talk to me. If there's anything you have a question about, come and ask me. It may be uncomfortable for me to answer certain questions you may have, but I'll do my best to answer it to the best of my abilities. And even about the social media thing, I have sat my daughter down and I said to her, because there's this trip that they had in her school, and basically they're going away for 4 days in March, and she was crying, she wanted to go, and I called her dad and I said to her, no, you're 8 years old, I haven't given you a phone, how am I going to communicate with you? You're going to be gone for 4 days, I'm not going to be there, this place is 2 hours drive away, anything goes wrong, I wouldn't even know anything has gone wrong until the teachers decide to contact me. And plus, I don't know your teachers. As much as we do background checks around here, you don't know who's a pedophile. It's not written down sometimes. Sometimes people are pedophiles and you don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. You're a little girl with no parent supervision. You're just with teachers. And like I said, I don't personally know them, so you can't go. And she was crying her eyes out. And I said, so you need to understand it's for your protection. I'm not doing it because I hate you. And I'm not going to buy you a phone just because you need to go on a trip and then take it back from me again. It's not fair. I don't want you to have a phone until you're at least 14, 15 years old. And she was just crying her eyes out. And I felt bad. But I said to her, as much as I feel bad, I'm not changing my decision. And her dad told her, I'm sorry, princess, but you just can't go. And I said to her, when you're a bit older, if they do have the trip again, I will consider it. But for now, it's a big no. I cannot let my 8-year-old daughter go away for 4 days without me. No way. I wouldn't be able to sleep knowing that she's out there and I'm not there with her. Obviously, I can't follow her everywhere she goes every time, but I couldn't do it. So I've said to her already, when it comes to social media, you're not going to have a TikTok, you're not going to have a Snapchat until you are mature enough and old enough to have that, because there's so many things out there that you don't know about. You're innocent, you may not know this is a bad thing, and someone will exploit that out there. And there's a lot of human trafficking going on as well. And there's someone in jail at the moment for sexually assaulting me, and he was someone that human trafficked people as well. And if I would have taken the job that he was offering me years ago, I probably would have been trafficked off to God knows where. God knows where. I've even been kidnapped before, and in this country. So having gone through that, I will absolutely tell you, it is the most terrifying thing. I am surprised I'm still alive till this day. And for having gone through that, I am so overprotective when it comes to my daughter. I don't want her going anywhere without me at all. I'm so overprotective. There's a lot of things people just don't know that I've been through, and because I've been through it, I don't want my kids to go through it. And so, like I said to her, trust me when mommy says no social media for now. I know you said your friend has a phone and her mom lets her have a phone and TikTok and all that, but that's her. She's not a bad parent for doing that, but I just can't let it happen, because I won't be able to control what happens to you out there. And right now you're so small. I just want you to enjoy being a child, enjoy being young, because you're not going to be young forever. When you get to my age, you'll be wishing you were still young. And like I said, as parents, I just think we really need to shield our children. There's so much out there, so much corruption, so many sins, so many things going out there, so many people getting killed. And I didn't suffer 9 months to give birth to each of my children. I got 4 kids, 3 C-sections. I didn't go through all that pain for another human being out there to think because they can get away with something, they're going to either attack my child, sexually assault my child, or kill my child because they can. I'm not going through all that pain for someone else to come and take them from me. No way. And anyone, I've always said, anyone on this earth that causes me to either lose my children or tries to make me lose my kids, whether it's to the government or for my kids to lose their life, that person is an enemy to me. I will come after you like a dog. I'm very overprotective of my kids. I would literally, if I've got to kill you, I will kill you for my children. I would do anything on this earth for my kids. So, because I know how far I can go for my kids, I shield them from a lot. So for parents out there that do condone their kids on social media, it's completely your decision. But from my point of view, being a parent of 4, I don't recommend it. And I think a lot of parents should shield their kids as much as they can, because when something goes wrong, there's no one you can blame but yourself. If you allow them to be on social media and they go and find a boy on there and they decide they're going to run away because they're in love and go off, and you can't find a child, you can't blame anyone but yourself, because you allowed them to have social media. Let them cry, let them get angry, let them say they hate you, but do not allow it. Get your kids off of social media. It is not a good place for them to be at all. Let them go to the park and play like we used to. We used to go to the park, go on the swings, talk, play double dutch, play all these hand clapping games. We used to do all of that, learn how to ride a bike. I'm pretty sure half the generation nowadays probably don't even know how to ride a bike, because they spend so much time looking at phones and screens. What time do they have? Things need to go back to the way they was, where we actually go outside and play. This is why there's a lot of fat people nowadays and obesity is rising, because back then we used to go outside and play, burn off all that energy when we were bored, but now we just sit in front of screens all day and eat food and just gain weight. Parents, we need to shield our children. We need to protect that innocence for as long as we can. As long as we can. Social media is not a place for children, and I hope a lot of parents do understand what I'm saying and don't get offended, but there's a lot of things we need to shield our children from, and I hope this video does help a lot of parents understand why I think social media is not good for a child. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a lovely night. Bye.